Hey guys, welcome back to the JPM Performance channel. It is once again time for a shop tour, and it's our first shop tour in July because it is July 4th, Independence Day, when we celebrate our independence from the Germans and the Japanese and the English folks. So I think it's kind of funny that Lisa put those pictures on for July, but obviously it's just 1 month, right? So good kudos to her to get some of my old racing pictures up there. Hard to believe it is July already. We are in the 7th month. We are halfway through 2024 somehow already, but here we go. So, shop tour time. Just finishing up Hayden Manis's second Spec Miata engine. This will be the one that I believe they're going to put in for the runoffs. So we've got a little bit of time still, but all I've got left is some of the bits and pieces. You can see that I glass bead all of the water outlets, make sure that they're sanded flat so we don't have any leaks and any problems. It also gives me an opportunity to inspect them very carefully. So I like to do that on all of the water outlets. Makes them look better, and you know, kind of part of building a proper race engine is making it look like new. So I'll have this done first of next week. We should be looking good. Still waiting on a couple bits and pieces for these differentials, but they should be here first of the week as well. So we're actually looking really good on these. This RX8 one has been a little tricky to get parts for. Little did I know that RX8 rebuild parts and pieces are a little harder to come by than MX5s and Miatas, but finally got my last piece of the puzzle. Apparently these RX8 pinion seals are not easy to come by, but shout out to Mazda Tricks, they found me one. So we're looking good there. And we've got a car back in the shop that we haven't seen for a couple of years. For those of you that have been following, you know, these shop tours for a while, you know that I did an LS3 swap on an ND2. Car's back in the shop for some service and maintenance, and the other thing that I'm doing is to cover up all of this. I sourced these really cool Corvette, they call these fuel rail covers because they snap here, they snap right onto the fuel rail, right here and here. And this is going to clean this engine bay up. So go figure, there's a bunch of trimming that I need to do because these were designed to go into a Corvette, and they do not fit this car, but I'll get them to fit. But man, it's always good to see this car. This car really turned out well. So it's got a couple thousand miles on it since we did the conversion, but man, the car just looks beautiful. I love the way this thing looks. What an awesome car. Really, really cool. Had the Camaro in, yeah, I think you guys saw it last week. And so the Camaro is done and gone. He's actually going to High Plains. They'll be leaving this afternoon to go to High Plains for the weekend. And then we are going to attempt to do, depending on how the weekend goes, try and do a quick flip around so he can go run the Hallett race next weekend, which they're going to be running Hallett backwards. And if you've never run Hallett backwards, it's a completely different track, right? Obviously, it's like throw everything you know out about Hallett and start over. But that is going to be next weekend. So High Plains this weekend, Hallett next weekend. I don't pay that much attention in the summer because I don't race in the summer because it's too hot. It's like in the 90s out there. So that's not for me, but that's okay. We did get a new car in the shop this week. This is actually a car that I tuned for this guy probably 10 years ago. So Craig Voigt, he's out of Wichita, and this is a turbo Porsche 944, and it's got an electromotive system in it. And so it's kind of been sitting for a while, so I need to pull the injectors out, pull the fuel rail off, clean the injectors, get it back on the dyno, get this thing retuned because he is getting ready to sell it. So honestly, I don't know exactly where this car fits in a class-wise. He's mainly been running it with Porsche Club, like I say, and they'll basically let you do anything. I think at one point it ran an ITE, an SCCA, and of course you could run it in NASA, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's got big tires, big brakes, you know, makes big power, you know, well into the 300 horsepower to the wheels, so pretty cool. You can see it's been sitting a little bit. It's a little dusty, but a really cool car, and I've got a couple weeks to spend with it. We'll be getting back to that. So that is about all that's been going in the shop, because I ended up spending so much time on the Camaro in the last week, which you don't even get to see this week. So John did get the stickers on the Camaro. I'm betting that you guys did not see the finishing touches on the stickers. We did new wing mount, charging post, battery, miscellaneous EGT gauge, just all sorts of little stuff on the Camaro, always trying to make it better. So, Mazda 2, what have I gotten done this week? Well, you can see the tires are off of it, and I ordered a new N-key wheel to replace my broken one here. So I've got a wheel that'll be here next week, and then I've started back in on the engine. So got my new pistons in, and I actually finished up the baffle plate for the oil pan. The baffle plate's not here right now, because now that I've got it fit around the pickup and everything, I'm getting a few of them made so that down the road we can, you know, when you guys want to call me and do an H production Mazda 2, I'm gonna have a baffle plate ready to go. So time to get the block prepared, get the pistons out, and really get rocking and rolling for the runoffs engine. So kind of working on my list. I always have a long checklist for the runoffs, just because I like to go through everything. A little bit of body work to do, just little details, right? Need to get some tires, go through the brakes, change all the fluids. Obviously we're going to be pulling the existing engine and transmission out. I want to re-gear the other transmission so that it is ready for a spare. And then I think we'll be looking pretty good. So my runoff prep list isn't super huge quite yet, but I do have a couple little bits and pieces. So if you guys are taking off the summer from racing like me, chip away on your car, like I always say. So keep working at it. A little bit of a shorter shop tour this week, because last week, of course, we had our big June sprints recap, which was a long one, so we'll make this one a little bit shorter. I hope you guys have a great 4th of July with friends and family. And of course, next week, I'm actually going to be heading out to the vintage race at Elkhart Lake. My dad is wanting me to drive his MGA, so I'm going to go up there with my parents, drive the MGA. We'll see if we can get some in-car footage at the vintage race as well. Gives me an opportunity to drive that racetrack again, so keeps me up to date and fresh on driving that racetrack. But really looking forward to going up there and driving my dad's famous MGA. If you guys don't know what that is, we'll be getting some in-car footage for that as well. So have a great rest of your week. Have a great 4th. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Take care.